Warning, everything in this video and on this channel is for educational purposes only. All content is intended for viewers 21 years of age or older. All acts are performed by professionals, and all people shown are 21 years of age or older. All acts are performed under the legal Chapter 67(8)(d) here in Nevada. Please do not attempt to recreate or reenact anything you see on this channel.
Welcome to From the Stash Podcast. Today we're talking to Dave Baker, aka DaMadScientist. And after this episode, you'll know exactly why he earned that name. Dave's pulling mad results, growing some of the biggest autos out there. In this episode, he breaks down his exact science, feeding schedules, lighting tricks, and more. You don't want to miss this one. It's packed with facts and fun. But first, a quick word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by AC Infinity. Check out their Cloud Ray Gen 2 oscillating clip fan. Their next-gen clip fan has been re-engineered to provide a long-lasting motor and customizable airflow for all stages of your plant's growth cycle. It features 10 speeds and 10 dynamic wind modes to simulate outdoor airflow and links with UIS controllers for Wi-Fi app control. Click the link in the description section below so you can learn more about their Cloud Ray clip fans, and the discount code THESTASH15 works on both Amazon and their website, acinfinity.com.
From the Stash Podcast.
From the Stash Podcast, we are back and we have a special guest, Dave Baker. What up, brother?
Hi, guys.
Dave?
How are you? It's good to see you, Chris, Rob, Pigeons. Finally.
Good to have you on, man. That's really cool. You're so active. You're like one of the most active people when it comes to like the community and chats on the comment section, really adding value to the comments. And not only that, man, but you grow some amazing plants, dude. And I know you're heavy on autos, which I believe is what going to be the main focus of today's discussion. You do a really great job growing plants.
Thanks, man. It's exciting to be on here, and I'm just an old guy with nothing to do, so I'm on all the sites and trying to uplift the community as much as I can.
Dude, you do a damn good job at it, man. I really respect and appreciate the amount of good energy that you put out in the community. There's a lot of people who they're very big on bragging and throwing the dick around when it comes to growing. And the way you grow, you'd assume you would more, but you're a very humble grower. And I think you let that speak for itself. You let the garden speak for itself. And you single-handedly have changed my mentality on the size that you can get from Autoflowers. I used to talk nothing but crap about it, dude. Like, well, you want to get an 1/8 off of it? Or a 1/7, like the cool kids will say? Dude, you're growing
20
some
ounces?
mambos. That's what I'm saying, dude. You got some beasts, brother. So if you could, man, give a little who you are, a little bio on who you are before we kind of get into the nitty-gritty and let the people know who Dave Baker is.
Well, like I said, my name's Dave Baker. My brand is DaMadScientist, because I can never leave things alone. But the trial and error helps. I'm a 56-year-old man, father of two. I have a 23-year-old son who just graduated college, who's playing semi-pro ball right now. I have he's 20 now, a 20-year-old son who goes to the University of Miami, and he's studying to be a anesthesiologist. He actually just got an A in his major, so his major's done already. So he gets to graduate early, sometime early in his senior year, which is awesome. 4.0 GPA.
Congratulations,
I couldn't be prouder. I was married for this year would have been like 33 years. My wife passed away 3.5 years ago from leukemia, and I was at 52 at the time or whatever, with two young men and a single dad. And I just grabbed the bull by the horns. My sons are everything to me, and being a father means more than anything to me. So that's my main focus. I couldn't really grow early on when we were legalized because my wife was a school teacher. So we had to keep it, on the DL and all that stuff. So I didn't do that. And then when it got legalized, she's like, well, why don't you just, if you want to put a small tent in the basement and do it small, fine. Just don't put everything out on internet and stuff. So that's what I did. And I started with autos. I was gifted some Royal Queen seeds from a friend, one of my mentors. And I grew out Bruce Banner and Cookies were my first two strains ever grown out. And I got about a QP off of both, which I had no idea what I was doing. I was feeding it Mycochum and Mycorrhiza every day. I had no clue what I was doing. But fast forward 6 years later, I figured everything out. And I started for my son. My oldest son had some anxiety issues, some depression issues, and stuff like that. And we went through a bunch of things, and the one thing that worked for him were gummies, and it changed his life. And now he's graduated with a business degree, playing semi-pro baseball, living a great life. So to me, the plant will always be medicine first and good smoke second.
That's amazing, man. I respect that. Being a boy dad, just me, I'm not with my kid's mom. God rest, the soul of your mother's, your kid's mother.
Thank you.
That's an awful loss, man, to be able to push through and make it happen. And then this focus energy on being a dad and being a gardener, crushing it, dude. Very, very respectable
Thank you.
to get into that realm of things. And it's good to distract the mind. I feel with gardening, man, it's like an art form, and it's farming, and it's your hobby. It occupies your time, and then it becomes potentially a profession for some people, dude. So it's definitely a good area to go down. And I really think that the way that you've been killing it with these plants, dude, in 6 years, it just shows you have the aptitude to learn, and you already were ready for it. You had a hidden green thumb.
I was in my former life, I was general manager for the largest furniture company in America, Bob's Discount Furniture. I started with them back in 2002, and I stayed with them to 2012, and that's when I had some issues health wise, and I ended up on disability. My back's a mess. I need knee replacements, a lot of old stuff, but I had let myself, when my wife passed away, I let myself go to almost 430 pounds. And my kids said, Dad, we need you. And Mom's gone, and you need to do something. So I did a bunch of research with my doctor, and I went down the rabbit hole. And 2.5, almost 3 years later, I'm down 186 pounds. So, like, I'm down pigeons.
Good. That's
Good
amazing.
for you, dude. That's an incredible story, man. And it's kind of a testament to, your resiliency, but also like the healing that can come from this plant, and the way that it just, you really can reap the rewards of the work of what your two hands can really do. And you can see this change every single day.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's a testimony to your resiliency. So hats off to you, from man to man, father to father. We're all dads here. It's no easy task, brother.
No.
It's no easy task.
I know, Pigeons, you're doing the hockey thing all the time, all over the place. And for years, I did the baseball thing with both boys all over the place.
Wouldn't change a thing.
Me neither.
Wouldn't change a thing, man. It's what we're on the planet for, if I may, right?
Absolutely. And my boys, this would be good to Rob, that my boys are both second-degree black belts in Taekwondo.
Nice, dude. That's cool as hell.
Yeah, we used to take them up and down the East Coast, and they competed all over the place. My oldest son, Marcus, is a 7-time gold medalist in sparring. And so I have good bodyguards.
Nice, dude. That's a proud dad moment, man. That's awesome, man. Dude.
And my youngest son is 6'3", 220, so people don't mess with him very often.
Beast.
I love it. They're great kids, and they think it's awesome what I do. They're like proud of me. They're like, Dad, you're really good at this, and it's cool.
Oh yeah, man. You show them that you're on a podcast or two. You're on Garden
I kind of
Talk
had a feeling I would catch on, because when I was younger, my dad had a huge garden, and I was always in the garden with him. So I had a little understanding of how the plants worked, even though it's not tomatoes and squash and all that stuff. I still got an inkling of how to really make things grow from the earth, because my dad did it for years. So that's kind of where I got my start. I got to give it to my old dad, R.I.P. He taught me quite a bit with that stuff. So now I implement a lot of what I learned over the years doing with him, and a lot of stuff that's I've done trial and error, and with like light schedules and feeding differently. Like right now, the grow that I have going that I showed you guys, it's an outdoor auto pots grow, 5 pots, 6x6 gal. It's a mix of Psycho Cocoa with Sunshine Farms #4 and Perlite. So it's really fluffy, which is really important for growing autos, is that fluffy media. I'm using Green Planet Nutrients, the Hoarder line, the commercial line. I was gifted that by Cheyenne at NECAN in Boston in March. So I wanted to really try it and give it a good run, because I never tried it before. I was always on Jack's. and I'm loving it. And I'm doing an experiment right now that people are going to be like, "You're crazy," but it's worth a try. So what I'm doing is I'm front loading the EC when I fill the reservoir really high. And where it's so warm outside, we've been like in a heat wave. I swap out ice water bottles constantly to keep it cool. Um, this is funny though, but I like right now, the last res I started was at 4.3 EC. It's
Wow.
really high. But what I'm doing is
Damn.
daily it goes down. And when it goes down, I add cold, like cool hose water to make up for some of that. So I'm bringing the EC down daily as I add water. So I'm front loading and then bringing it down gradually. And you know what? I don't have a burnt tip. The plants are lush and green. You saw the pictures. They're doing phenomenal. And they love it. They're taking it no problem. Just
Interesting,
another
man. I think it's
experiment.
pushing it. Yeah, trying things to pushing the limit of what, the back of these bottles and the Athena mix and all these things, they say do it this one way, but sometimes you do got to try things different so you can discover the way that people may start doing things everywhere.
I did that with Kronk Newts for a run. Their Autoflower line. And I was actually doing that when I spoke to Chris before. And I liked that line. It was a very good line. The plants loved it. But what I did was I bumped their feeding up a little bit because I thought it was really low for an autoflower. And that's the misconception a lot of people do have is they think autoflowers feed light, light, light. And for the first week or so, it's just 2.5 ounces around where I plant the seed or put the pop seed in with around 1.2. But I'll gradually raise that now as I find that the plants like it when you gradually raise it instead of hammer them. So that's what I did outside. I started at 2.5. The next res was 3. The next res was 3.5. The next res was 4.3. And that's where I'm at now in the fourth res full in 50 days. And it seems to be going great. I knock on wood. I will continue to do what I'm doing with it and see how it makes out and let everybody know.
Oh yeah, man. I think the experiments to be able to be the guinea pig for it, they're great because these are the things where someone finds it in a forum or they find it on a post and they're like, man, I'm going to try this method.
Yeah.
That's where like the Lucas formula came into play back with general hydroponics.
Yeah.
Somebody has to try these things and implement it and document it.
Like I said, it's like life, Rob. If you don't take a risk, you never know.
100%, man. 100%. And that's where like, I guess for the people who aren't familiar with you, who aren't regular viewers of From the Stash, could you break down exactly like your elements in the garden? So like, what are you using to grow? And then how, like, what are you growing? So autoflowers primarily. And what are the breeders?
I'm sponsored by Speedrun Seeds and Brother Mendel Selections, so I run a lot of theirs, but I'm not afraid to run others either because they don't hold me to anything. I do really well with the Speedrun and the Brother Mendels. I think they have both of them do great IBL work, and that's important. As you guys can attest to now, where you're breeding, that inbred line work is very important for good genetics, especially in the autoflower space. And and far as inputs go, I use Stash Blend quite a bit. I mix it in an IntelliLab science mixer where you just has a little magnet in it and you pour it in, let it mix. I try to dilute everything so I'm not overpowering anything. And I have a sequence. I start with silica first and then go down the gambit. And by doing that, I want to make sure I get the silica right because it's very important when they're going to grow so fast. Because a lot of them, like in 16 days, I'll have like a plant that's a foot tall already. And by doing that, you've got to make sure that those roots are in well and that main stalk is really strong, because you don't want it to flop over in time and stuff like that. So I do use a lot of silica and I use it in every mix, but I'm only doing 0.5 gram per gallon. So I don't overload it. And then I'll back it off with about 3 weeks left to flower now, I'm starting to back it off because I did notice that the trichome productions could be altered a little bit by too much silica. The one thing I love in these autopots is you don't have to flush because you're allowing the roots to take what it wants. If you flush it, then you're going to flush all that salt that raises to the top down through your roots. You don't want that. You follow me? So going from rock wool to autopots now is like going from a 12-hour day of hard labor at work to sitting in the sun drinking a martini. I mean, it's like my dogs could do this. It's so easy, and I love it. And I know a lot of you guys are the same way as I am. Is you got to learn to hand water before you do anything, and I'm big on that. And I spoke about that in the Garden Talk episode. Is that any first-time growers out there, soil and hand watering, because you have to learn your way around the plant. You have to learn how to feed it. You have to take your trial and errors. You have to take your bumps, and that's what makes you a better grower. As far as inputs other than Stash Blend and Recharge, I use CX Regeneroot. That is recommended by Autopots. They're using it. It also helps keep the lines clean. It's an enzyme. So I have had no blockages, thank God. Everything's ran true. So with the Horta line, they have veg, then they have bloom, then they have late bloom. So I'm right now splitting the bloom and the late bloom together right now because they're at day 50. So some of them are going to be done in 70 days. Some of them are going to be done in 90 days. So I'm trying to mix it so everybody gets what they need. Shout out to Green Planet, because I reached out to them and asked them to help me formulate their specific nutrients and how strong they are to get to the ECs I want to in each stage. And they helped me build out a whole page of a feeding regimen, which is nobody does that. That's really cool. Big ups to Jeremy and them guys over there. They do a great job. They're good people. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I do use Sticky Bandit by Kronk Newts. I kept that in my repertoire out of their line. It's a great carb and sugar loader. Does add a lot of trichomes. Really nice. And it doesn't block any lines. I just mix it. Like I said, I mix everything in the Intel lab, and it works out really good. And that's kind of what I'm using right now. And it seems to be working really, really well. My last grow, I finished my last run with Jax, and and that was great. Of course, I stunted my plants because I'm a dope, but and that was because I started the under canopies too early. So, Rob, you said you're going to be doing under canopies. Wait till they flower, first week of flower, before you flip those babies on, because it will stop the stretch. I didn't realize that. I was just excited to run them.
Yeah, I know that's a good tip, man. For me, I've never utilized those, and now being able to get that into my garden, I think it's going to change a lot of my training methods as well.
Yeah.
Less stripping the plant down, and you're dealing with autoflowers too. So like hitting these certain points of training and work that you're doing, and even adding in these lights, it's so important because that stretch is everything. That's where
Yes.
you're trying to get to the point where you can bulk up. You want to have that plant that can be big enough that can yield the weight that you want.
Yeah.
What kind of training do you do for your autos? Because the size of these, man, your canopies are massive.
Leaf
That you
tucking.
get.
I start leaf tucking when they have 3 or 4 sets of leaves. And I aggressively leaf tuck. It's not just like, oh, push this over here, push that over there. I will take a big fan leaf and twirl it completely underneath the bud site. And in an hour, it'll come back. But that little bit of sun or that little bit of LED light that it gets, they start to come up. And that's how I grow those canopies kind of even, instead of the Christmas tree thing. Now, out back, I didn't do anything. I just let them rip because I want them to express the way the sun wants them to express. I want to see their natural form, their natural structure, because I'm looking at some of them as possibly something to breed with. So I'm letting them express their own way. I've done limited leaf tucking. I've done some lollipopping on the bottom, just getting rid of some. But I'm in my normal grow indoors. I leaf tuck heavy. I will take anything that is blemished, anything that might have got bitten by anything, or anything that is dying. I will take those leaves off throughout the whole grow. Now that I have a couple runs with the under canopies under my belt, I realize that you only have to take a little bit off the bottom, just some straggly leaves, so that some of that nutrients gets up. You know what I mean? But I will attest. The last grow I had with it, even though they were only like 22, 24-inch plants, they weren't big, huge plants like I normally grow. They yielded like crazy because of the under canopy. The Widow's Reaper, which is Bobby's Widow's Cross, which was a 2019 Auto Cup winner from Gnome Automatics. him and Mendel did a bunch of crosses together, and that cross, that Widow's Reaper, that was my biggest plant, and that was 12.4 ounces, and it was stunted, and it was because of the under canopies. Now, I'll explain to you how I used the far red and how I came about it. The far red gets a lot of play out there now. Some people say, "Oh, it's terrible. It's not natural. It's outside the spectrum," because it is 730 nanometer for real far red. When I got this light, got it off Marketplace, guy got it somehow by accident because he won one from GML's show, and he sold it to me for $500 and it needed work, but it was a $1,400 light, so I jumped on it, sold my HLG, and my cousin's an electrician, so he came here and he rebuilt the whole light for me, fixed everything, got it running perfect, and I let it rip, and that's the first time I used that light was the Master Yoda run. Halfway through, I got rid of the HLG and put the GML up there, and that killed it. And I started messing with the far red, and I noticed that my seedlings were really stretching up good. I'm like, I think I'm onto something here. So the next run, I lowered the white light to like 15-20% during veg, and cranked the far red to 100. And within 10 days, my plants were like this big already. And I was like, yeah, I know what I'm doing now. I got it. So now what I do is I do that in the beginning, and then once the stretch is over, I'll turn it down to like 50%, the far end, and I'll let the whites and the greens and the blues and all that take over. And then with 2 or 3 weeks left of flower, I'll crank it back up again because it's great for entourage effect. It does harden the buds, and it does promote photosynthesis. So there are a lot of good things for it. What I wouldn't recommend is just leaving it 100% the whole time, all the time, because you can get wonky looking plants from it, because it will get huge leaves and things of that nature. And I've done all that just by trial and error and writing everything down. So I know what step to go to next. So like some of the cultivars love it. Some of them don't like it at all. So you got to really play with it. I never run more than I run 4 plants at a time in my tent, because normally they'll grow up the sides. So I always pick 4 different ones. I don't run like 4 of the same or 2. The only time I did that was the ice cream paint job. I wanted to run it because it was great. I did 2 of them and they turned out great. But yeah, that's how I stumbled upon how to use the far red, and then I've played with it constantly every run since. And I think I got it down now where I can make them stretch up pretty good. I know when to stop. I know when to add. I know when to turn the light way up. Like now, before I was doing 1,1300 ppfd at the end at 18 inches. Now I'm keeping it more around 1,100 and pumping the CO2, because I thought I had great CO2 down here until I tested it and got a tester, and it was only at 500. I thought I was up like near 1,000. So now I just use 2 TMB bottles, shake them up real good, and it keeps me in the 700s, which is perfect for an auto.
Yeah, the way you talked about using far red, I remember you talking about that on Garden Talk, and I thought that was brilliant, to where you're really utilizing it heavy during the stretch phase, right? Because with autos, right, it's not just the veg period where you're getting that growth, and it's not just veg period. There's so much emphasis in keeping the plant healthy, so you get good growth. You don't stunt it at all, so that way you have a good yield at the end of the day, right? But if you're utilizing far red as well, which is going to give you that additional stretch, especially during the stretch period when you're flipping the flower, well, that just gives you more branching in order to build buds onto. So, and then you mentioned you kind of back off the far red and then reintroduce it. But man, that's so cool that, I feel like it's, I don't say a hack. It's not technically a hack, but it's a really good technique in order to get like larger growth on the plant before it actually starts to go into full flower mode.
When I first started messing with it, I messaged Thomas and I said, "Hey, I think I might have something with this far red." And he's like, "Well, what are you doing?" And I explained it all to him on one of his shows. He's like, "Dude, that's next level, man. No, I've never heard of anybody doing that." And that's when he had it R&D'd at a lab and stuff like that. And what I said was pretty much straight on. And just to give people tips, on autos, the start is everything. The first 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks is everything with autos. Even if they look a little wonky, if they're growing, that's fine, because the wonkiness will go away. They're autos. That stuff happens. They're never going to be perfect. They're never going to be better than photo periods. But they are starting to come up there now. They're starting to really move in the right direction. The genetics are getting better and better and more stable. If you look at Chubbs a couple days ago just won the Universe Cup in Hamburg, Germany, and he entered against Photos, and he won with a apricot auto, and he beat Photos in a cup. That's telling you a lot of which direction that the autos are going now. They're more terpy. They're more strong. They're much more structurally sound, where they're not just growing weird like the old lowrider would grow to a slant and all that stuff. They look like Photos when you have them in your. I mean, if you've ever seen the frosted biscotti I ran from James Loud, you can't tell that's not a photo. It's the most beautiful plant I've ever ran. It's gorgeous. Looks like my son named it the Dark Knight because it looks like it's from the Batman movie. You know what I mean? It's crazy looking strain. And of course, he's my breeding idol. That guy's amazing. But uh, if you have a fluffy medium and say you're using fabric, find the deepest fabric pot you can, even if it's a 5 or a 3 gal. Find a deep one. Use that fluffy medium, whatever you're using, whether it's cocoa soil, whatever it may be, because that taproot's going to want to go straight down really quick. And if you have enough length there for that to go down without being impeded, no blockages, so it's nice fluffy and that taproot can go straight down, you're going to get a good grow. The auto is going to express well, and it's going to grow quickly, and it'll surprise you. Some of them will start out slow, and then like week 3, week 4, just explode, and you're like, whoa, and it's fun.
I had the Gorilla Cookies auto, and that was I didn't like the end smoke, but I think it was just the particular one I had because a lot of the people who had it really enjoyed it. But the growth of it absolutely blew me away.
Yeah,
totally flabbergasted. I got 8 Z's on it.
That's great,
and that was not common for an auto for me ever.
That's
And
great.
It was so uniform and grew so nice. There was no wonkiness to it. It looked straight up like a photo. I had it in my veg space, and just looking in there, it was so out of place because I'm like, wow, I've got this big, thick, girthy arm plant that's in there with all these babies, and it's just growing. And I think for me, the biggest issue I have is like the stability in the sense of, am I going to find that same flavor if I run the genetic again?
Mm-hmm.
Have you done a lot of the same seeds over and over and been able to find that the flavors are pretty stable and it's more the growth that changes, or is it all just all over the place?
Depends on the phylel. Like Master Yoda's a F6, so all 4 of those plants were like twins. Like they were between 10 and 12 ounces, every single one of them, and they all looked exactly the same. That's great line work by Brother Mendel. I've grown the Granite Haze F6 from Speedrun twice, and Ben's does amazing work with his lines, and they look just like autoponymouses. They're beautiful, and every time you run it, it's great. But that's an F6. Now, if let's say you go 2020 Mendocino and you get some of the S1s, which are amazing, like they kick ass too. You can get different expressions. I ran 2 Triscuits. One was the big, huge one. That's the first 1 pound plant I've ever grown, and that was like 18 ounces or whatever with footballs on it. The other one looked totally different, was big, but it never flowered. It just stayed. It was a confused plant. I called the breeder. He's like, just kill it. It's confused. It will never flower. So I did. So yes, it can get wonky depending on what stage it's at. A lot of auto guys like to put out F2s because you can hunt them and find many different types of phenos and genos. You know what I mean? I would prefer to buy an F3 or higher most of the time because I want to have it expressed the same way over and over. Because I don't want my weed to be different over. You know what I mean? My plant to be different over and over again. I want it to stay the same. I want it to look nice. I want it to I'm growing now more for effect than I am for size. I've proven to myself I can grow big monster autos. That's all well and good. Right now, I want potency and effect, and I want really good terps because I'm entering the Autoflower Cup this year. So, yeah, I'm going to announce that here. I'm entering one from Brother Mendel and one from Speedrun.
Congrats, man!
You heard
That's
it here
exciting,
first,
dude.
folks.
Yeah, you heard it here first. You guys know Corey from Inside Hydro?
Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to Corey.
Well, I'm going to Cup of Champions in 2 weeks in Plymouth, Mass. And he lives right up the road. So I'm going to try and hook up with him and give him some of my flour to have him test it for me because he was a judge this year. And he could tell me, I'm there or I'm not there. And I want all the brutal criticism you can give me. You know what I mean? Because I want to perfect it before I send it. But just to know that I've got to the point in 6.5 years with a plant that a lot of people frown upon to the point now where I can have the confidence to enter it into a competition just means the world to me.
Dude, we had a guy recently, Grow Fire Farm. Shout out to him, man. He was only growing for what, 4 years? And he entered a cup, and his stuff, dude, is phenomenal. He has great
Awesome.
smoke, like really good, and his rosin's good. But it's somebody who's also a longtime consumer, so they know what the end product is. They know what they want, and I think you got into it at such a great time, dude. Like the technology is amazing now. The
Yes.
fact that the autos weren't quite up to par with the genetics, but then also the technology wasn't as suitable
Right.
for them. I mean, again, there's nutrients that are tailored now to feeding autos. There's schedules where these companies are giving you the playbook on how to feed it properly, and the breeders are making F6s
Yeah.
for God's sakes of autos at this point.
And that takes
I
like
think-
3 years.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. Like now that I'm doing this, I'm like, I'm just on F2s right now, brother, and this is stressful. I got a long way to go. You know, and I think that when it comes down to it with autos, the masses of people would probably do better with those, just like feminized, because they can put it in, they can guarantee they'll get some smoke at the end. But that's the issue we were talking about, is the predictability. And unless you can find these breeders that do have these F6s, I can't count how many breeders don't even say what filial generation it is. It just is the name of the genetic. And I'm like, well, is this going to be what you described? I'm like, well, you could get the pheno that leans more on this. And it's always something I hate. It'll be like, it's gassy, it's dank, it's diesel, or you could get the sweet berry guava version. I'm like, God,
Are you a Chem
this is
D
a
fan?
gamble. Who?
Chem D?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so
Heavily.
you would have loved the ice cream paint job because that is a Chem D, real Chem D cross. And that when you open the bag, you smell straight Pine Sol and Lysol and floor cleaner. It's crazy. I actually brought a bunch of that with me in joint form to the Nikan in Boston and gave that away. Like I'm good friends with, I don't know if you guys ever heard of them, the brand, but it's big in Cali and they have a big clothing line. They're hooked with cookies. Johannes LA. They do the Broken Promises is his brother. Broken Promises is the clothing line. They're at Zoomies. Smoking Promises, they're as the brothers, tomato line. And Sean and Becky from Your Highness, they've been on First Smoke of the Day. They've been on Good Pizza, all that stuff. I'm cool with them. So whenever time they come to a show, I go to their booth and we hang out and whatnot, and I bring them stuff. And they smoke. They're in LA, you know what I mean? They big time growers, so they know what's good and what's not. And I always get a thumbs up. So it gives me the confidence to keep on pushing, keep on trialing and erroring. And someday if I ever get a chance to walk on a stage and just place, it'll make all this worth it.
That'd be awesome, man. Yeah, we were at the Dude Grows Cup. It's another one you should think about entering, man. That would be pretty cool to see your entry in there. There's like we had like 69 entries, and trying to get through it, there's just so many. But there is, there's so many competitions out there.
Yeah.
So you've got so many opportunities to take home a cup, and I think it's only a matter of time, dude, before you grab one.
I'm a competitive person by nature, Chris will attest, us Bostonians, we're pretty aggressive. But in the long run, it's a great medicine. I suffer from degenerative disc disease and I've got a couple of bad discs in my back and I have arthritis in my knees. And yeah, I take medicines for it and stuff, but they don't do what the plant does. The plant does both body and mind. I don't have to take 5 pills to do body and mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and the side effects, the difference, the side effects
Absolutely.
too. And that's the thing I feel and that's guaranteed why all of us are so involved in this. People, when I tell them what I do, they're like, damn, you're really obsessed with this shit. And I'm like, dude, it's a medical thing for people that also is recreational and fun and cool, and then a hobby of botany, and then breeding, and then new techniques with technology and learning lighting and all. Dude, like this shit is so fun. And I think that's the part when you're like, man, it's medical too.
And you're building something, you're helping build up something that's actually living. It's a living organism. It's kind of like raising a baby. I look at the plants as my babies. I come in, play some M&M for them, shoot the shit with them, shoot the crap with them, and have a great time with them. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's a lot of fun.
that's my
Sometimes I just
place,
come
my
down here and sit
sanctuary.
down here for an hour with the plants just for peace.
Dude, literally, if you're in a bad mindset and your plants are looking good, especially, go down and just breathe in that fresh ass
Oh,
prana.
it's
Just be
awesome.
around the plants and see them, dude. And like, so one thing that kind of I was thinking about too is autos. Do you have a perpetual grow then?
Oh yeah.
Or do you do a full run? So you have multiple tents and multiple
Well,
setups?
I have a 4x4 that I only use for drying. That's my old tent, my original tent. I've had it sitting in here for almost 7 years. I have a little 2x3, but it's a mess. I keep all products in it. So in my 5x5, once I get to about 2 weeks away from harvest from the four that are in there, I'll put four new ones in the corner and start them. Before I used to start them in the Rockwell. Now I just start them in the cocoa tray and with root riots. And as soon as I see a root, they're going right in the cocoa because I don't
All right.
want
So
them.
then,
Because if you keep them in the rooter, right, and they split this way and they touch the sides, they're stunted. The key is not letting them touch the sides. So Ben from Speedrun, he's having root trays uh, done and customized, and he cut them at an angle so the roots can grow out the bottom. They don't hit the bottom of the tray. There's no plastic there, and he's got them like kind of like this, so they go in at an angle. He trims them down, and he never gets a stunt that way. He's got 160 plants going right now as he's doing a bunch of outcrosses, bringing his Granite Haze to F7, which I can't wait for. Um, and he's using these trays, and it's working phenomenal. Like he has like 80 tray to grows in his room now, right now, because he's big with autopots. And little things like that to keep in your vocab up here, to keep in that bank vault, take a good grower to a great grower, or take an okay grower to a good grower. Like I'm doing a lot of coaching right now. I'm working with I think 5 people right now. A couple guys from Germany, one from Ohio, one from Spain, and one from Maryland, I think. And I help them every day. Whenever they have questions, they hit me up on Messenger. We'll go FaceTime, whatever, and I'll help them. I helped one guy just set up his whole thing, got him a discount on a light, the whole nine, and he's kicking butt, and I love it. He's like, Dave, this is awesome. Thank you so much, and I don't want anything for it. Like they'll try to say, "Oh, I'll give you a gift card," and I don't want anything. I want to see other people learn how to grow and not give all that money to the man.
hell yeah,
An
dude.
epitome of this community, my man. I love that.
Yeah.
Uh, Dave, walk me through. You said you're using Speedrun. You said you're all about the terps. I love that. What's your process for going about selecting genetics? What do you do before you purchase? Is there any kind of process in that?
Breeder information is because, like with Speedrun and Mendel, I talk to both of those guys daily, and I will say, "What should I do next? What do you think is the best one for this? What does you think is the best one?" And I'll get information first. Look, these guys are building businesses or have businesses. They're not, some celebrity that you can't talk to. They're person. They're growers. They're breeders. They want people who get this stuff that show their stuff to do well. So they're going to lead you down the right path. And I think it's important to those who want to grow, especially in the autoflower space, is talk to the breeder you're buying from and learn what they think is great, what they think is okay, and listen to what they're saying. Don't think you know everything because you never know everything. You learn in this thing every single day. Um, I'll ask Ben, what should I run next? What do you think would be great? And he'll say, you should do this, this, and this. I'll send them to you next week. You know what I mean? They send me seeds all the time. I got seeds to run for 10 years. And that's great. I don't ask for anything. They just do it because they sponsor me and I hype up their stuff. And that's part of this community. Raise everybody up as much as you possibly can. Don't take their channels away and don't do stupid stuff. Support the community. Don't bad talk people. Some people may do things different than you do. That's okay. Everybody has their own style of growing. But if you can help one or two people along the way and they become good growers, you did your job. But I like
Oh
to
yeah,
reach
man.
out
Each
to
one,
the
each one.
breeder and talk to the breeder about what should I run. I even, with James Loud, I sent him an email and he said, try the frosted biscotti. And my buddy had frosted biscottis on him and he doesn't grow autos. He gave them to me. He got them free with the book. I ran them. They were amazing. I ran one so far. I got two more to run. And that was done in 62 days from seed pop. And it gave me 10 ounces. That's pretty good.
Damn. Holy shit.
That's
And it
Yeah.
was
really good.
great smoke. I mean, beautiful stuff. But yeah, Pigeons, I would say reach out to the breeder, talk to the breeder, do a little homework. What type of stuff do you like? Actually read what the flavors are that it expresses. Read what possibly the yield could be. Because like I know Ben puts real numbers up there. Most of these guys do. It's very genetic, 3 to 5 ounces in soil. That's what they put in there all the time, or 650 grams per square meter, or whatever it is. Ben puts, look, if you do it this way, it goes from 5 to 17 ounces or 4 to 12 ounces. He'll tell you straight out that one will be a smaller one, this one will be a bigger one. And he's a young guy, so he kind of understands the culture really well today at being 35 and owning a huge business. Um, it's smart to really reach out to people. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You shouldn't be afraid to ask for help ever in this community, whether it be you're having a tough time. You know, I've met some of the nicest people ever in this community. You three guys are right there, man. I mean, you guys didn't have to look at my stuff. You guys didn't have to answer me when I messaged you and stuff, but you did. And
Oh yeah, man. That's
right there for
community,
it. You know
dude.
what I'm saying?
That's what it is, brother. I think it's the difference of people who we've all been in the same position in terms of like the passion and
Yeah.
not having people around us to talk to and wanting to nerd out on this stuff or wanting to share these experiments. And it's somebody across the globe or the country or somewhere else, like on the internet usually, that then you bond with over the plant. And you find these other common grounds and these other things that you're like, oh, like that's how me and the boys became such good friends, man.
It
It's
was all
bizarre, you know?
organic.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, dude.
Pardon the pun, but I mean it's true. Like that Canadian trip you guys took and you went down the river, dude, I was laughing my ass off.
Dude,
My
we were
buddy.
literally just plotting on this trip. We're conquering this damn river again. This time we
Oh,
don't have an AC Infinity show scheduled.
right.
We're gonna survive.
I
We
miss you
don't.
guys on there
That was
though.
the pressure of not knowing where we were,
Yep.
being out of supplies, primarily herb, and then having a show that we were late for. So this time we're prepared.
Sid must have been, whew.
Yeah, man. She
That
was
was out of control.
She's great.
So you talked about the breeder and how it is really good to have that connection with the breeder to find out, you know, not only what you can run next, but the breeder can really open up and tell you what environment that those genetics work well in. And I want to ask you, I know it really depends on genetics, but what do you typically aim for environment, temperature, humidity when you're growing indoors in particular?
In my tent, I've always found that autoflowers love 80-60. 80 degrees, 60% humidity. I don't do a ton with VPD. I want to stay between 1 and 1.6 all the way through. If I can stay within those parameters, the plants are fine. They adjust just fine. That's the one thing about autoflowers. They will adjust quickly and they're very resilient. So I would say middle of flower is when I drop it down to like say 72, 73 and try and be 50, 51, 52. And that'll get the colors to express and the plant likes it. It knows it's time to really pack on the flower. And I use all, the same stuff you guys use. I have a AI controller sitting upstairs that I haven't even opened yet because I'm growing outside. But yeah, I haven't played with that yet, but I've heard good things about it. So I'll play with that when it's time. Um, I would say if you can keep it between 72 and 80, and you can keep the humidity between 50 and 60, you'll do real well as far as environment goes. I mean, and I learned
Yeah.
that from some high guy. Uh, he was growing Monster Autos. I was telling Chris
Oh,
about
it's
on
a
his show.
username.
Oh,
Okay.
great
Yeah.
name. He disappeared though, man. He was a really good guy and really outreaching guy, and he grew some monster autos. This is 5-6 years ago when nobody was doing it. You know what I mean? 2.7 pound Dr. Cripley's incredible bulk. The thing was huge. It filled this whole 4x4. I was like, holy crap. Similar to the one that High Again did with the Gorilla Cookies.
Dude, yeah, I was just thinking about that one. The only people I see growing massive ones, you know, obviously lately it's changing, so I can't say that, but primarily High Again were one of the first people years ago, back before they did their Sunday live stream. Me and traded our Sunday live stream,
Yep.
and I found out they were in Grand Rapids, and I was like, holy shit, are these really autos? Just tell me the truth. But be honest with me.
I used to
And, like,
watch
I
them
met
when they
him
were in the first apartment. And
dude.
they used to travel to each other's house.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, just
They're
to
good
be able to
people.
crank up, amazing people. Shout out to Heaven and Neil, dude. Great people. To be able to get the production off of these plants is just shows, because not everybody's as picky of a consumer as me.
Sure.
If you're able to pull from seed to harvest in 90 days or less, now the 120 ones for me becomes a little much, but
Yep.
90 days or less, 60 in
No
your
auto
case,
should go
62.
120 days. That's a fast firing photo.
That's a good way that can just grow it under the veg condition.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, I think that's the argument of more harvest per year. And then when you're dealing with a situation like in Germany, their plant count is so strict. So you've got no space to really veg. Your perpetual grow is going to be really tough. But if you're able to pop 3 to 4 seeds and you're able to harvest all those within that window, you've got 4 solid harvests per year at least. You
and
know
you've
what I'm
got great
saying?
smoke.
So exactly.
If you did everything
so
right
it's better.
and you followed your own guidelines. I believe in a whiteboard. I have a whiteboard down here in my grow room, and I write down all my different things and everything I put in there and how much and when. And I stay on top of my stuff. And if you stay on top of your stuff and you stay organized, you will do well. The plant will express and stress and do all the things that you make it do. But if you leave it alone, sometimes it'll surprise the hell out of you. Like, for instance, High Again. He made that custom top for the pot. He took off for 10 days and left it alone. This is what I keep trying to tell everybody. During veg, leave your autoflower alone unless you have to take something off of it or you have to do something with it. And then once it hits flower and stretches over, you can go to town. You can strip it, you can swaz it, whatever you want to do. It's not going to stop it from flowering. And it'll make it express differently. But if you can get through the stretch without getting too handsy, you will have a nice big, how do I want to put it? Positive grow. You'll have a really good grow, and you'll sit back and say, geez, I didn't do much to it, but it just did its own. Because there's a reason why they call it an auto flower. Because it automatically is going to give you flower. Think about it. Now, a photo, I would train the heck out of. I'd be just like P. I'd be in there naked, ripping ass in my closet, in my big huge tent, and I'd be training like crazy because you have so much time to play with that plant.
One
Maine
does
Coon
not
Cat says if you fart in there,
one does
you'll kill
not
your
shit
turps.
in their garden. All right?
Kill your turps. Maine
I've
Coon
seen this
Cat
thing on
says-
X going back and forth for like
Yeah,
weeks now.
we
with
neck
Proper
it.
Doinks and Coon and all that.
We neck it.
It's
we
so
neck it.
funny.
There's always
Pigeons,
something to argue.
Pigeons, I have a question for you.
Please.
What caused you in the beginning to look so down on autoflowers till now?
Who hurt you?
Yeah, this is my question. Because I always say to myself, I know if I spent 15 minutes talking to Pigeons and told him how I do things and he did his own way of it, he would grow great autos. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, and in fact, I have grown great autos, and
Pigeons growing organic and or autos and organics. That'll be the next.
Rob's mentioned that the autos he's had have been like terpless, and not that enjoyable. And my experience has been the exact opposite. In fact, I've had very juicy, very tasty autos. I've trained autos, and I've had great success with autos. My reservation, well, let me be very clear. It's very easy to have a YouTube channel and to make controversial, clickable content, right?
Sure.
That's where I like to have a conversation. I like to spark people's creative juices, and then
you lied.
Have the conversation. Nope. The reality is that throughout my tenure on the internet, it's like I've really kind of honed out a spot for me in training plants and going over and above, putting the effort in to turn a Christmas tree into something majestic, if I may.
Yep.
And so autos really don't afford you that same ability. And because of that single fact is just really the trainability. That's where it's like, if I'm gonna grow an auto and not train it, I'll just grow a photo and flip it whenever I'm ready, you know? So it's like that was really it.
And
then
you love
when
to be hands-on. That's the thing, is you like to train your
that's it.
plants. Yep.
That's it.
You're like
That's
the
it.
There's
Kobe
nothing wrong with
Covington
that.
of the weed game. You just gave up you told everybody that it was an act.
I would say this.
I've said this many times.
If you ever do an auto again and it's something you want to try again, just eliminate the tie down. Just manipulate the plant, the leaves the way you want to go. Make sure it's a really good fluffy medium, and don't be afraid to feed it. And you will get an awesome terpy plant. I promise you. If you pick the right genetics.
Eventually, when there's a chill out OG auto,
It's coming, because I'm going to buy some seeds from him someday. And I told him I'm going to make it an auto for him someday.
Dude, that'd be wild, man.
that would be so
I'm
cool
still
to have.
working
Like,
on my
that's the easiest
project. I
way.
just haven't had a lot of time to finish it up, but I'll tell you a couple secrets I got going out there right now. My 5 main ones are going, and they're doing great. I just put out a 25-gallon bud trainer pot, the tallest pot I could find. It's a fabric pot, and it's got 25 gallons of the same mix that I used in the auto pots, and I put 2 frosted Cheerios from Speedrun in it, and with just grow dots. It's going to get stash blend and recharge and grow dots. And I'm doing an experiment to see what happens. Do they graft to each other? Do they wrap around each other? Do they one outgrow the other? I want to look for the dominant one, because frosted Cheerios is something I'm thinking about adding to the hazy Yoda I'm doing, the Mother's Day, because it's a faster plant and it produces tremendous amount of trichomes. It's a big washer. On the other side, I'm now an affiliate for Grow Peaceful, which is similar to Build a Soil. He does organic 4-gallon buckets and sells them to the masses, and you just water. And I've got the hazy Yoda growing in that now, just so I can see, hopefully get it to flower this time and see the structure, and it's doing really well. So those are 2 experiment things I got going right now, and hopefully this winter I'll be able to hit the hazy Yoda with a new strain and get it to be an autoflower, a 3-way cross. And then I'll probably S1 it so that I can put out a bunch of seeds and let some people try it and do some test runs and then work on it from there. And Pigeons will be happy with this. This is from Todd McCormick, the original Skunk Man's Haze. Took the pollen from that, me and my buddy, and hit it to Master Yoda from Brother Mendel's. And I'm going to call it Hazy Yoda in the end.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
That's cool.
My kids are like, don't name a strain after Mom, because we're going to do Mother's Day for my wife and my mother. And they're like, don't do that. Do your own thing, Dad. It's your thing. So, okay, I will.
I think it's cool, man. I like the fact that there's a story behind it in that sense too. But then being able to have something that, for me, was one of the first ones I saw you with, to bring it all the way back to that is pretty sweet.
It is. It's cool. Like, I'll never forget that day. Me and my partner were down here. We were harvesting a different run, and my buddy and I were down here, and I heard my name and I switched, because I always watch you guys while I'm doing work. You know what I mean? Especially on Thursdays. And he's like, "Yo, they said your name." And I'm like, "Yeah, you did. Rob said my name, I think." And I started
Oh yeah,
typing.
man.
And then ever since then, I've always been on. I support all you guys, every channel you have. I think I popped in on you the other night, Pidge, on the Twitch. Dude, the ads there are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I got
Twitch is
Twitch
really
Turbo
bad.
for that reason. It's crazy. They just get my money.
Did I go on
I hate
Twitch
'em.
to go in Pigeons' live? And it takes me 3.5 minutes just to say hi. But it
It's bad.
works.
Yeah.
I'm still afraid of doing a YouTube because they keep taking everybody down. They took
It's an uphill battle, man. It's a very
wicked
uphill
bad. They
battle.
just took Seed to Harvest podcast with Rue in them. El Canisaur,
Yeah,
Canorado
dude.
Chris. They deleted them. They got the DGC boys. And the DGC boys, I mean, those guys are legends. Leave those guys
Oh,
alone.
dude, they'll be back stronger than ever. That's the thing with them, is it's like almost like another one. You know what I'm saying? Like they're so resilient, dude.
Grambo will bring them back. Grambo's a talented guy.
Dude. And just them as a team, like they've got the energy that they'll keep going hard, man.
Matter of fact, Chris, when you went on his show, or he went on your show, Grambo, you were talking about me with the Far Red, and he was even like, yeah, now that sounds like it would work. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I just want to try and open some eyes to different stuff. Not everything has
respect
to be
it,
so
man.
cookie cutter, you know.
Keep doing your thing, Dave, because that's exactly what you're doing. You know, it's Rob and I can both say you've opened our eyes, even in
I
regards
appreciate
to
that.
the things that you can do, the patience that it takes, the fortitude that you have. You're opening eyes, brother, and
I
I
appreciate it.
hope this conversation will. I know this conversation will open more eyes to people trying to decide whether or not they should dabble into autoflowers. Dave, incredible conversation, man.
If anybody ever has any questions, please DM me on any of
I,
my socials. I
where
will
could
help
they do
them.
that? Where could they do
Uh,
that, Dave? Where can they reach you?
I'm on IG, DaMadScientist. It's DA_mad.scientist because they've taken 2 of them already, so I have to. It's like 3.0. I'm on Facebook, DaMadScientist. That's I'm pretty maxed out there. I like 5K there. Um, I'm on X, which I'm building up quite a bit. 2 months I've been on, 2.5 months I've been on X, and I'm trying to build that. That's a tough one to build, but I'm doing it. And Discords, you can go into the Speedrun Discord, you can go into Grow Peaceful, any of those Discords and find me. Anytime, any place, I will help anybody that wants help. I will answer questions. I'm really proud. There's a guy I helped last year, and he did the same Rockwell setup, only he did a 6 on an 8, and he grew a 1 pound plant. And that's, to me, that's dope.
Dude, that's huge. Even on a photo, that's huge,
Yeah.
brother. So, man, dude, Dave, appreciate you taking the time to
You
come
guys
on
were
here,
awesome.
man.
Thank you so much.
Great to finally chat with you. I feel like in person, but digitally. You know, we'll eventually have to smoke in person, man. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, brother. Well, for From the Stash podcast, it's your boy Rob, Chris, Pigeons 420, and Dave Baker. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace. Growers who are looking for that secret sauce usually are just missing something from their garden. And to help with that, we bring you the Stash Blend Premium Plant Additive. Stash Blend brings beneficial bacteria, silicon, seaweed, humic acid, and has enough macronutrition to help lower the dosages of your base feed too. Unleash your plant's true potential with Stash Blend Premium Plant Additive. Available at Growers House.